Hello everybody, welcome back to Cerise, our beautiful French town on the water and in the hills. We are back in this beautiful European town inspired by both French architecture, city planning, and also just general European planning. And yeah, I think it's starting to look really nice. I have done just a little bit off camera. I just added this little road here just to expand sur la colline just a little bit and gave it a bit of row housing just to give a little bit of density over here. But I realized in doing that there's not really many directions I can expand this part of town into just yet. I mean, I could expand here, but I kind of want to save this area for something special, maybe a university. I can't really do much down here because of the windmills. And the land down here, I could maybe expand into, but it's probably going to be residential because, low density residential that is, because it is quite steep actually. And so that kind of just leaves north. But that would mean I would have to kind of expand sur la colline, and I kind of want to, well, I think I'll eventually expand it, but I sort of want to keep it how it is for now. So I realized that, well, hey, in this game, you could expand literally anywhere you want, right? The tiles you get don't have to be attached to your current tiles. So I think I may, in this episode, create a little satellite town. Just to give ourselves a bit more to work with, because I thought it'd be fun, and we'd also be untethered from the design styles of this city, and we could, of course it'll still be European, but I think we can change things up a little bit and not feel too tethered to what we have here. So yeah, and I am in photo mode. Yes, I know, it looks a lot, it doesn't look as good as it was in time of day 14.5. Oh well, we'll have to settle for this for now. Okay, so I have been scouring the map for a good location for a little secondary location, and you know, there's some good contenders. Here is a really interesting spot. I really like this kind of delta, and this bridge is interesting. I don't know if I'd keep it, but it's good. And also, something important about setting up a satellite town is I want to make sure it has access to good resources. And so there is actually some forestry and ore here, which is nice. There are other locations too. There's this huge forested area up here, which is kind of cool. But I want to make this little additional city be in a place that would make sense for a European town to develop, right? And wait, sorry, actually I realized I also super quickly wanted to allow trains to access the whatchamacallit, rail yard. Sorry, back to what I was saying. I want this new tiny town, which may become a big city, who knows, to be in a place where a European city will naturally develop. So I did a bit of research, and I was thinking, okay, well, where do most European cities naturally develop? Well, I mean, most any kind of city develop on water, right? That's not just a European thing. That's a kind of everywhere thing. So okay, ocean, and so that's definitely why I considered this location. And of course, there's these little pockets up here and also here. But then I was thinking, okay, well, we also wanted to have access to resources. And there's resources here too, but what's one resource we really don't have access to yet? And that's farm. If you look at our production, we have hella wood, hella coal, good amounts of ore, good amounts of livestock, but we are really falling behind when it comes to vegetables and cotton and grain. So I thought it would be a really good idea to invest in that. And I noticed, well, okay, sure, we do have this area down here, but we've already developed on it, and I'm not going to take away from this and turn it into a farm. No way, Jose. So there is this location down here, but I really liked this location. I thought this was a really cool area to build a new part of town. And for 3 reasons, and maybe more will develop as I think about it. But firstly, I think the biggest one is that there's farmland, which will be super important to use to finally get that resource. That's first. Second, there's this beautiful river, which I think would make sense for a city to develop on. And also we may be able to utilize it for trade, although it may not be wide enough for that. But we can try it. And then finally, there is this rail line, which is super nice. And so we can actually have this develop along rail. And so I was thinking about this because, you know, when you think of most European cities like London, Paris, you know, Copenhagen even, they all developed so long ago. That was before, way long before rail. So they don't really develop around that, right? That's more of an American thing, I guess. But after doing some research, there are actually quite a few European towns that have developed around rail. Some notable examples are Olten, which I think is in Switzerland. There was Théognier, which is in France. Entroncamento, which was in Portugal. There are tons of places in Europe that have developed around rail connections. And they're more recent towns, which makes sense because railroads are a more recent invention. So anyways, that is why I'm choosing this location. So anyways, enough of me blabbering. I think it's time we started developing this little town. With that, then let's jump into some time lapse and road planning. It felt good to start a new part of town, like completely detached from all the roads that I've previously laid, because I didn't really have to follow the same patterns as La Cerise, which was nice. I then decided to focus on the farm area that would be across the way, because I think this would be kind of the critical factor of this town. That would be how this town came to be, because nowhere else on this map do we have easy access to farmland. So I really wanted to capitalize on this. So I drew out some dirt roads and plopped down every kind of farm there was. Grain farms, textile farms, even, what was the other one? Grain farms. Did I already say grain farms? Grain farms, vegetable farms, and textile farms. I decided to give this town its own energy source too. I gave it some windmills because there was a decent amount of wind in the hills. However, they turned out to be extremely finicky. I kept placing them down and then they also just kept not working. So I think I may have to go for a different means of energy production in the future. But I don't want to go crazy because it wouldn't make sense for this small town to have a geothermal power plant or whatever. But also I didn't want to make a coal power plant either because that's I don't want to make a bunch of pollution. I don't want to do that. And I definitely bought way more tiles than I needed, and it did come back to bite me later, but whatever. Sometimes you just gotta allow yourself to do the thing you want. Yeah. Well, no, not always. Whatever. I was trying to grade separate the rail from the roads, which I realized I do actually more than I think is necessary. Someone commented about how in a small town like this, you probably actually would see at-grade rail crossings with the road. And yeah, I guess you probably would. But honestly, I just like how it looks when you get to go under it too. And also, I don't like traffic to build up waiting for trains and things like that. It just looks bad. So, may have to ditch a bit of realism there, but oh well. I plopped down my cargo rail center in this location. I had to level some land, which sucks, but c'est la vie. But I was mostly happy with the location. And it looks a bit weird now, but I will plop some more farms on that side of the highway soon, because there is in fact a lot more fertile land over there. Because at this time I was trying to figure out where I wanted to put my rail yard, because if this town is going to truly develop around rail, they should have at least access to that. But unfortunately, there was not a much of flat land around. There was a little bit of flat land on the islands, kind of in the middle, but I kind of wanted to reserve that for a city. So I decided to put it up near the forest, which I kind of realized as I was doing it wasn't the best idea because I got rid of a bunch of really nice mature trees, which I guess I could have used for forestry. But then also I had to do this crazy rail overpass. But it did look kind of cool. I do think it looked kind of cool. On the other side of the rail yard, I did realize that there's a massive cliff where I left it, and so I would have to do a little bit of terrain leveling there. But hey, no biggie. You just gotta do it sometimes. I then drew out my lines. I thought it would, of course, be important to have it go back to the main station in Las Cerise. And I also brought some lines out to the other cities, like Sudbury and Amersham, I think it was. Kind of a dumb name, but oh well. Can't win them all. I then put a little plaza here because these people needed a real park, not just some bushes surrounded by a bunch of roads. And I also put a little dog park and playground up there, and hopefully these people will be having a bit of a better life. Because out here in the boonies, they don't have much of anything. They don't have medical facilities yet. They don't have police. Literally all they have is their train station, their singular plaza, and a dream, I guess. For now. It will... Oh, they also have their farms. But, you know, hopefully we can develop further there. But for now, it will be a small town. A small town on the river. But I'm definitely willing to come back to it and give it more development and maybe even turn it into a city. Who knows? But yeah, this was just a small little project because I got a little bored with... Well, maybe not bored with La Cerise, but a little bit. I wanted to try something else. Oh, and at that point, my computer stopped recording because I ran out of disk space, but I was able to leave some space, and I just missed a bit of detailing, but mostly everything was the same. I just plopped some trees between the farms, and I thought they looked pretty good. Then it was at this point I realized I'd spent like a whole bunch of time in Forest Crossing, which it is now called, but I am definitely hoping to change it soon. Although, you know, I do like the name Forest Crossing. It is a forest and it is a railroad crossing, so that name actually ended up being fortuitous. But I do want it to be a European name, so I don't know, maybe I can like translate it into French or something, who knows. But anyways, if anyone has an idea, again, please let me know. But yeah, it was at this point I realized I'd spent a bunch of time here, and after laying a bit of factories down to give these people some jobs, I decided to go back to La Cerise. Coming back to La Cerise, I learned that we had a massive unemployment problem, which keeps coming back. Like I feel like I keep expanding these industrial areas, and then people are like, yay, jobs. And then like 2 minutes later, it's not enough anymore. My unemployment's back at 17% or something crazy like that. So I decided to yet again expand the industrial area, add some industry, add some offices. And it happened. But then I also realized, like, man, all these jobs are like so far from the town center. And so I was really trying to like scrounge around and try to find for little pockets of town where I could put some offices, but like everything was already kind of zoned up and also tightly squashed together that it was tough to find places. I put down this large city park, which admittedly here was a crazy spot to put it because again, the hills are just so stupid crazy over here. So I did what I always do when I hate how the hill looks. I put a retaining wall, which, I think it kind of worked here. I had some trouble with it, definitely. But at least we didn't have these ugly cliffs anymore. So that was nice. But it did take a lot of reworking. Oh my god. And then also, like, I wasn't able to zone on half of this block either, just because it just wouldn't let me. I tried so many times to draw out these paths. You can see right now, I was like, why can't I zone right in this little corner? I couldn't do it. They just wouldn't let me. So I decided to instead draw out this cute little winding path to go down. And actually, it looked kind of cute. And after putting some trees and bushes down, I was like, you know what? All right. I nice. I was looking at all the people walking and milling about, which always makes me happy seeing all the people. When it's people walking instead of cars driving, that's nice. That's the good shit. Oh, yes. And to end things off, we hit Great Town. Oh my god. What a nice thing. And I realized, like, well, shit. If we're at Great Town already, I have like 19 progress points that I could use on something. So, in the next episode, I will explore what I'm going to unlock with those points. So, anyways, until then, I will see you guys next time and enjoy some cinematics. Bye!